Hello, my name is Cole, and today I'll be talking to you about aircraft from the 1970s to the 1990s. I will mainly be talking about American and Soviet military aircraft because they're most known, advanced, and sexy aircraft from the past and today. So what aircraft were introduced in the 1970s? Well, jet airliners had just been introduced. The Boeing B-747, for example, had 4 turbofan engines capable of giving the Boeing 900 kilometers per hour on a cruise speed. It had 4 main landing wheel bogies to support its insane weight. What is a bogie? A bogie is a chassis or structure that carries a wheel set. Moving on, it was a double-decker aircraft with a raised cockpit so it could be turned into a cargo plane. Unfortunately, by the early 2000s, most of these planes, 61 to be exact, had crashed. 3,722 people had died in these crashes. Just recently, has the last passenger 747 been retired from service. Other jet airliners like the Lockheed L-1011, introduced in 1972, and the Douglas DC-10, introduced in 1971, share the same fate in the late 1990s or the early 2000s. Now we have the most recognizable jet, the Concorde. The Concorde is a British-French turbojet-powered supersonic passenger airliner that was used from 1976 until 2003. It had maximum speed over twice the speed of sound at Mach 2.04, or 2,180 kilometers at cruise altitude. Kilometers an hour at cruise altitude. With a seating from 92 to 128 passengers, first flown in 1969, the Concorde entered service in 1976, operated for 27 years. It is only of 2 supersonic jets to have been used with the public. The other is the Soviet-built Tupolev Tu-144, which operated in the late 1970s. What the Concorde had and the Tupolev had was a droop snoot. It didn't really do much. The only thing it really did was give the pilots a better view of the landing strip that they were going to land on. Now we move on to the military side of things for the 1970s. Militaries never stopped using turboprop aircraft, as in some tasks they are more efficient, but some planes need engines that are suited for high-altitude, high-speed missions, like heavy cargo planes, jet fighters, strategic and tactical bombers, and reconnaissance aircraft. Some examples of jet fighters are the MiG-25RB, the Grumman F-14A Tomcat, the McDonnell Douglas F-15C/D Eagle, the Jaguar Gr1, and the Sukhoi Su-24 Mark Fencer. Before I move on to the 1970s, I'll give a brief overview of the armaments, engine power, etc. of these said fighter jets. Starting off with the MiG-25RB, a high-speed interceptor/recon aircraft, could carry 4,000 kilograms of weapons, with its weight being 2,000 kilograms. Despite this, it could go 3,000 kilometers an hour. The reason it being it had 2 massive engines. It had a range of 2,900 kilometers, and there was only one pilot. It had a wingspan of 13 meters. The F-15C/D Eagle. Moving over to the west, I'm going to talk about the F-15 Eagle. For guns, it had one 20mm M61 Vulcan autocannon for soft targets, dogfights. 4 AIM-9 Sidewinders, which is an air-to-air missile and was capable of carrying 7,300 kilograms of bombs or missiles, or both. Its weaponry outmatched the Soviet jets in every way, still to this day. In fact, moving on, it had 2 engines, which becomes very popular in jets after the F-15. It could go Mach 2.5 and had a range of 46 kilometers, which is a ton considering it weighed 2,410 kilograms. It had a crew of 1 person or 2, depending on the model. The C model has 1, the D having 2, and it had a wingspan of 13 meters. The Jaguar Gr1. For weaponry, it had 2 30mm cannons with a 4,765 kilogram payload. It had 2 jet engines and had a top speed of Mach 1.6. It had a range of 4,210 kilometers. It weighed 7,000 kilograms and was flown by 1 pilot and had a wingspan of 8 meters. And of course, what am I doing? I cannot forget about the A-10 Warthog! Yeah, Reed would get super pissed at me if I forgot about that. The A-10 Warthog was an aircraft built solely for close air support and named after a World War II ground attack aircraft, the P-47 Thunderbolt. This aircraft is an American icon of badassery and is known for its legendary GAU-8 30mm Gatling gun. It fires 6,500 rounds per minute, and the sound is an art form. It carries a ton of stuff to help with ground troops, like the AIM-9X Sidewinder A2A missiles, the AGM-114 Hellfighter, which is which is an air-to-ground instant death dealer. A multitude of guided bombs, from 500-pound bombs to the GBU-31 2,000-pound bombs of boom bomb. Yeah, jeez. The Mcdonald F4 E Phantom 2. This is the last jet I'm going to do because this project is due in 2 days and I still have to write an ebook. Powered by 2 General Electric GE-J79 jet engines, the F4 E Phantom 2 was the latest and most improved model of the F4. The F4 was a fighter bomber, meaning it could be configured as a tactical bomber as well. Used heavily in the Vietnam War, the Navy could land them on aircraft carriers too. It could carry 8,400 kilograms of bombs, air-to-air missiles, and ground rockets, and air-to-ground rockets, with wing-mounted machine guns and napalm drop tanks. Now, for 1980s commercial aircraft. Commercial airliners consisted of Beechcraft 1900, the Commuter Aircraft Corporation CAC 100, and the McDonnell Douglas MD-80. The Beechcraft 1900 is a 19-passenger pressurized twin-engine turboprop fixed-wing aircraft. What does turboprop mean? Turboprop is an engine that drives an aircraft propeller, which is very rare to see due to the turbofan and turbojet engines replacing them on most passenger aircrafts. But not all. Moving on, the Beechcraft was used mostly for regional flights, but also as a cargo plane. Several government and military organizations used them as well. The Commuter Aircraft Corporation CAC 100. The CAC 100 was designed in the late 60s, but first flew in 1983. It could capacitate 50 to 60 people and had a wingspan of 74 feet. It usually went 569 kilometers an hour, but the project was canceled after the first flight due to it being an old design and not desirable. The McDonnell Douglas MD-80. The MD-80s were a series of single-aisle aircraft, but it was very long, so it could hold up to 130 people. Not much is to be said about it, other than the many accidents and fatalities the McDouglas is responsible for. On June 1st, 1999, the American Airlines Flight 1420 and MD-82 trying to land in bad weather conditions at a Little Rock airport overshot the runway and crashed into the banks of the Arkansas River. 11 people, including the captain, died. On August 16th, 2005, West Caribbean Airways, the MD-82 crashed in the mountainous region of Venezuela, killing all 152 passengers and 8 crew. On December 27, 1991, the MD-81 crash-landed in Gottora, Sweden. In ascent, both engines took ice and broke loose from the wings. The accidents go on and on. McDonnell tried different variants, but they all just seemed to crash. The MD-80 series was ended in 1999. Moving on to the military side of things, military jets consisted of the F/A-18 Hornet, the Panavia Tornado, the EF-111A Raven, F-20 Tiger Shark, the F-117 Nighthawk, the MiG-31 Foxhound, the Mirage 2000C, and the Su-27 Flanker. The MiG-31 Foxhound. It has a 23mm cannon and 46 long-range air-to-air missiles. It is capable of going 3,000 kilometers an hour because it has 2 engines. It is impressive because it weighs 21,800 kilograms. It has also a range of 3,000 kilometers. It has a crew of 2 and a wingspan of 13 meters. The Mirage 2000C. The Mirage has 2 30mm cannons and a 6,300 kilogram payload. It weighs 7,500 kilograms, has 1 engine, and goes Mach 2.35, and can be used by 1 or 2 crew members, and has a range of 3,335 kilometers, and has a wingspan of 9 meters. The Sukhoi 27 Flanker. The Sukhoi has a 130mm cannon and a 6,000 kilogram payload, 2 engines, and can go Mach 2.35, same as the Mirage. It has a range of 4,000 kilometers and has one pilot. It weighs 7,500 kilograms and a wingspan of 14 meters. And some variants can land on aircraft carriers. The Su-27, the Sukhoi 27, is known for its good looks and its same maneuverability at low speeds. For the 1990s aircraft, we have the Northrop Grumman B-2A Flying Dorito, as on the screen right now, the SAAB GAS-39 Gripen, the F-2A Raptor, the Segzi Boy, the Yak-141, the Su-35 Super Flanker, and the Su-37 Terminator, and the Xinguo and the YF-23A Black Widow 2. The Flying Dorito can go really, really fast with a top speed of 1,103 kilometers and has a range of 13,898 kilometers. It has 4 engines and can be operated by a crew of 2 or 3. It weighs 71,700 kilograms and can carry 82,500 pound bombs, which sounds crazy looking at how much it actually weighs. It can carry up to 181,473 kilograms of bombs and has a wingspan of 52 meters. The Su-37 Terminator can terminate capitalists as fast as it can actually go. It has a 30mm cannon and it can carry up to 8,200 kilograms of bombs and air-to-air missiles and air-to-surface missiles, which kills capitalists, of course, as every true communist wants. It has 14 hardpoints, but what is a hardpoint? A hardpoint is a frame on the outside of the wing that can carry extra bombs, missiles, ammunition, and fuel. It has 2 engines and can go up to 2,440 kilometers. It has a range of 3,500 kilometers and has 1 pilot and a wingspan of 14 meters. And it weighs 18,500 kilograms. The Lockheed Martin F-22A Raptor. The F-22 is the pinnacle of an advanced fighter technology. It uses advanced stealth technology to conceal itself on the enemy's radar. On the radar screens, the F-22 has a literal radar cross-section, RCS, of approximately 1B. It is virtually invisible at night and has been known to sneak up behind enemy aircraft with ease. At one point, a U.S. Air Force F-22 flew behind an Iranian Air Force F4 Phantom, flew below it to see what kind of weapons it was carrying. Then came up to the left wing, all without the enemy pilot even knowing, then using its radio told the Iranian F4 to go home. It did. The Xinguo is an indigenous defense fighter, or IDF. It has one 20mm cannon and can carry 3,900 kilograms of bombs and missiles. It can go 1,275 kilometers an hour and has a range of 1,100 kilometers. It uses 2 engines and only requires one pilot to fly it. It weighs 6,500 kilograms and has a wingspan of 9 meters. Alright, now commercial aircraft in the 1990s. Not much to be said, most commercial jets were still in the 1980s variants. A new thing that was starting to be seen, though, was a trend of the wide-body aircraft, which could carry more people than the average jet. Most wide-body jets could fit up to 400 people. Well, that's the end of this 100% real, not half-assed documentary. This is totally not cold talking, but you should give it 100% on this project, Mr. Jean. Yes. Yes.